Blood does not lie. It remembers every promise and every betrayal. It runs through veins like fire, carrying secrets no one dares to speak. In episode 7, the past refuses to stay buried, and every heartbeat feels like the drum of war. The silence before the storm is never empty. It carries whispers of fear, the soft echo of footsteps that should not be there, the weight of eyes watching from the dark. In this moment, trust is no longer a bond, but a dangerous gamble. Every friend could be an enemy. Every smile could hide a dagger. Shadows grow longer, pressing against the walls, wrapping themselves around the last traces of peace. The blood ties that once promised safety now feel like shackles, pulling each soul deeper into a fate none can escape. Episode 7 opens its doors not with comfort, but with questions that cut sharper than any blade. Who will keep their oath? Who will break it? And when the truth finally bleeds into the open, will anyone be strong enough to face it? The silence does not last forever. It never does. A single crack in the stillness is enough to unravel everything, enough to remind them that peace was only an illusion. In episode 7, the world begins to fracture, not with thunder, but with whispers that spread like wildfire. Whispers that twist truth into lies and turn blood into poison. The ones who swore to stand together now feel the ground shifting beneath them. Trust slips away like sand through trembling hands, leaving only suspicion behind. Every word is questioned, every gesture is weighed. When blood itself cannot be trusted, what hope remains for loyalty? This is the turning point where hidden truths claw their way to the surface. Every shadow hides a story, and every story bleeds into another, staining everything it touches. No one is free of guilt. No one is clean. The choices made in silence come back to haunt them in the loudest way. One wrong step, one careless decision can pull the thread that unravels the entire bond. In the halls where promises were once spoken, echoes of betrayal now linger, heavy and sharp. And in the dark, a secret grows louder, demanding to be revealed. The faces of the past refuse to fade. They rise in memories, in broken dreams, in names spoken only in fear. What was once forgotten will no longer remain silent. The sins of fathers, the mistakes of mothers, the betrayals of brothers and sisters all rise like ghosts demanding repayment. There is no escape, because the blood remembers everything. The old wounds that were never healed begin to tear, open again, and with them comes a flood that no one can stop. This is not only about survival anymore. It is about vengeance. It is about hunger for justice. It is about the fire that will burn everything in its path if it is not contained. But vengeance has its price. It is not a currency paid in gold, but in lives, in hearts, in the fragile connections that bind people together. Episode 7 does not wait for forgiveness. It demands sacrifice. Someone must bleed. Someone must be broken for the story to move forward. The question is, who will it be? And will the price be too heavy for anyone to bear? As alliances crack and hidden knives flash in the dark, the line between family and enemy begins to blur. The heart does not always recognize who it should fear, and in the confusion of loyalty and betrayal, the most dangerous enemy may be the one standing closest. The storm that has been gathering finally shows its face. The sky darkens, not with clouds, but with the weight of decisions that cannot be undone. Every choice matters. Every silence screams louder than words. The walls of safety fall away, one by one, and those who thought they were untouchable realize that no one is beyond reach. The power they fought for, the secrets they buried, the lies they built their lives on, all of it is collapsing. And as it falls, the question burns brighter. When the dust clears, who will still be standing, and who will be erased from the story forever? The heartbeat of episode 7 is not gentle. It pounds like a drum of war, echoing in every scene, in every breath. It does not ask for patience. It demands attention. The fire has been lit, the ground has begun to shake, and nothing will return to the way it was. Blood will call to blood, chains will rattle, and the choices of the past will drag every character. To the edge, beyond that edge lies the unknown, and once they cross it, there will be no turning back. The storm breaks not with thunder, but with silence that feels heavier than a scream. A silence that presses against the chest, refusing to let go. Then, without warning, it shatters into pieces. In episode 7, the shadows no longer linger at the edges, they step into the light. Secrets that were once hidden behind locked doors are dragged out, raw and unforgiving. What was whispered in corners now becomes an open wound for all to see. And there is no hiding from it. The blood that once bound them becomes a chain of fire, burning hotter with each passing moment. The lines between truth and lies blur until they are no longer visible. Every face carries a mask. Every word drips with double meaning. And in the chaos, trust dies its final death. A hand once meant to protect now feels like the hand of an executioner. The people who swore they would never turn on each other are the same ones who now look with suspicion, with fear, with rage. In this crucible, every relationship is tested. Loyalty becomes fragile as glass, and betrayal cuts deeper than any blade. The question that haunts every soul: when family becomes foe, who will you fight for? And who will you bleed for? Episode 7 is not gentle. It does not caress. It does not comfort. It rips open the seams of safety and exposes the trembling heart underneath. The walls tremble with voices raised in fury, doors slam with finality, and footsteps echo like the approach of fate itself. Somewhere in the distance, a choice is being made, a choice that will tear the story apart. The camera of destiny does not turn away. It holds steady on the moment when everything cracks. And in that crack lies the truth. Blood is not just life, it is war. The ghosts of old sins step forward. They wear familiar faces, they speak with familiar voices, but they carry knives behind their backs. What was buried rises again, demanding its due. The characters who thought they had escaped the weight of the past now realize that the past has been waiting, patient, merciless. And when it finally arrives, it does not ask for permission. It takes, it devours, it destroys. The drums grow louder. Now, not in the distance, but close, pounding in the heart, in the veins, in the ears. Each beat is a warning. Time is running out. Each scene feels like a last chance. Each moment more fragile than the one before. The air itself feels sharp, like it could cut. Breath is no longer a gift, but a burden. And somewhere in this storm, a scream rises, a scream that does not belong to one voice, but to many. It is the scream of betrayal, of pain, of loss. And it will not be silenced. Episode 7 sharpens its blade in these moments. It does not strike yet, but it makes its presence known. It lets the characters feel the weight of what is coming, lets them sense the shadow of the blow before it falls. Choices tighten around them like chains. The ground they stand on begins to crumble. The paths they thought were clear twist into labyrinths of fire. And the truth, the unbearable truth, stands tall in front of them. There is no turning back. As the walls close in, as the masks fall away, as the lies burn in the light, the true battle begins. It is not fought with swords or guns, but with the heart, with the soul, with the unbearable weight of knowing that sometimes the people who hurt you most are the ones who share your blood. The war is not only against enemies outside, but against the ones within. And in this war, there can be no mercy. There can be no forgiveness, only survival. And even that comes at a price too heavy to carry. Episode 7 is the moment when the storm no longer threatens from afar. It stands at the door. It pushes inside. It demands a seat at the table. The fire rises, the shadows dance, and every heartbeat feels like a countdown. Something is about to break. Something is about to fall. And when it does, nothing and no one will ever be the same again. The end does not arrive quietly. It roars. Episode 7 does not whisper its final warning. It hurls it like fire into the night. Every breath becomes heavier, every second sharper, until time itself feels like a weapon pressing against the skin. What began as shadows and whispers now explodes into fire and thunder. The walls that once guarded secrets collapse. What was hidden in silence is dragged into the open, and once it is revealed, there is no returning to the safety of ignorance. The truth has teeth, and an episode 7. It bites deep. The ties of blood are tested in their purest form. Love that once comforted now becomes a chain choking the breath from the heart. Loyalty, once a shield, is shattered into shards sharp enough to wound. Betrayal drips like poison through every vein, and even the strongest cannot stand unshaken. The characters who thought they knew who they were must face the cruel mirror that shows them what they have become. And for some, the reflection is unbearable. They must either destroy it or let it destroy them. The storm breaks wide open. It is no longer in the distance. It is here, tearing through everything in its path. Voices clash like steel, rage collides with fear, and the ground itself seems to quake beneath the weight of their choices. This is not just conflict, it is reckoning. Episode 7 burns away illusions, reducing lies to ash, and leaves only raw truth behind, and the truth is cruel. The truth does not save. The truth demands blood.